And a very good Saturday morning to everybody. This is Unchained with Lee Sanders. I am, of course, as always, Lee Sanders. I thank you all so much for checking out this inaugural episode on Saturday, July 21st, 2012. It is the early AM right now, just a little bit close to 5:30 on the East Coast. I am just kicking back over here, and I'm actually in my den where I do a lot of my work prepping for the show before heading out to the studio. And I have my dog over here, my little puppy, Maggie, who's just kicking back, laying in the bed, trying to get her sleep on as the rain is just quietly pouring down outside. And all I have for breakfast right now is a glass of milk to jumpstart my day. I do hope you all have had a fantastic Friday night and your weekend is going good so far. The way that I was thinking about doing this show, and let me tell you the reason why I had decided to add on a Saturday show, as it's already a little bit hectic as it is when I do the Tuesday night edition of the RCWR show, and then I sit up and I do the Thursday night edition of Impact Showdown, and then a RCWR post show for every single TNA WWE pay per view. The reason why I sat up and I said to myself, let me add on an additional show is because I kind of felt as though I was a little bit shackled. I was a little bit chained up by doing the show on Blog Talk Radio. Now, see, you have sponsors, you have responsibilities, and when you have those sponsors and responsibilities, there's only but so much you can really say, especially when you're trying to be respectful to the audience that's listening, because you don't know who's listening, especially when you sit up and say that the shows are for everyone to listen to. So you kind of have to hold yourself to a certain standard, and usually that's what a lot of us radio talk personalities do up on there. I had thought to myself a couple of weeks ago, but I didn't want to entertain the idea, folks, of doing a show where I can just really push the envelope. I could really speak my mind. It's just me alone as myself, and it's not a representation of the people who is our sponsors or the BTR staff. Just me alone by myself. And I said, well, why not do a YouTube exclusive where I can pretty much say whatever I want to say and we'll see what happens. So we're going to try a little bit of an experiment, and if y'all are feeling this, then we'll definitely do more of these episodes. But I just thought that the way I would do Unchained is to sit up and basically talk about stuff outside of wrestling, kind of talk about stuff outside of entertainment. And I originally had some stuff that I was going to be talking to you about today, but because of what all had occurred within the past 30 plus hours, I just thought maybe that could be something that could be pushed back to next week, and instead we just talk about the latest stuff that's been happening. So I'm just going to get a little bit quiet right now because, again, my breakfast of choice this morning is a glass of milk. That's how I usually start it. It's nice, it's ice cold. All right, so let's jump right into it. So, as I'm eagerly anticipating the final installment of The Dark Knight Rises, and folks, unfortunately, we're not really going to be dipping into that because, it's entertainment talk, but it does bring up a very valid subject. But here's what we're going to do. For those of you that may possibly be looking for my review of The Dark Knight. We'll have it up on our website over at infinityOneProductions.com. So just rest assured of that. But as I'm eagerly anticipating this final installment, and I have been waiting patiently for a couple of years now, I'm sure that this movie could have came to us sooner had it not been for the untimely death of Heath Ledger. But I was eagerly anticipating this movie. My girlfriend and I, we had secured our tickets and we had sat up the night before and we were trying to figure out, okay, so where the hell are we going to meet up? What time? Okay, what exact location are we going to be? All that stuff. So we're just finalizing everything. And I just so happened to not have anything else to do for the week. So my uh, weekend started a little bit early. It started on Friday. So I'm just kicking back in the house and I'm just doing a little bit of cleaning up and to get ready for the final movie. I'm kicking back and I'm trying. The key word is trying to watch Batman Begins, followed up immediately behind The Dark Knight. And I fall asleep on it. My girlfriend gives me a call at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And she says, hey, I was just making sure that you were awake. I was like, yeah, hon, I'm awake. I'm fine. I'm good to go. Yeah, I'm about to start getting ready in a little bit. I just want to sleep a little bit longer. She said, okay, no problem. Did you hear what happened? I said, no. Who died? That's usually how we talk. As soon as one of us says, did you hear? We usually follow that up with, yeah, this person died. So I'm thinking to myself, oh God, who died now? And she says, oh, there was a crazy gunman that sat up and killed a ton of people. He shot at least 70 people and a lot of people had died. I said, what? She said, yeah, be careful on your way to the movie theater. I'm like, well, where did all this happen? Well, it happened in Denver, Colorado. I said, well, I'm not really tripping. I think that this is something that probably just happened in that area only. But yeah, I'll definitely be careful. I'll mind my surroundings. And she said, okay, yeah, do that. Just do that. I said, okay. So immediately after I get off the phone with her, I do like I always do when I'm trying to look for a story and I'm trying to gather up information about it. I'm just checking all of the news websites. I'm going to MSN, I'm going to Yahoo, I'm going to NBC. I'm just all over the place and I find out about this deranged, sick fucking gunman that sat up and had the audacity to go into this movie theater down there in Colorado, throw up gas canister bombs or whatever, and just starts shooting at people. And basically, he shot 70 people total and 12 are dead. And I'm just sitting up and I'm just thinking to myself, my God, what type of a fucking society are we living in? Because, and this just really rattled me to the fucking core. I cannot stress that enough, folks. I really take this personal, and I'll tell you exactly why I take this really fucking personal. Because all my life, I have been a movie goer, okay? All my life, I've been a movie goer. I have been going to the theaters probably since I was the age of 5, and I've seen so many movies. I didn't start going to the movies on my own until I was at the age of probably 12, maybe 13 years old is when I started seeing movies by myself. And I love going to the movies. I love just being in line with random people who I don't know. And the only thing that we have in common is the curiosity, the love for a particular actor or director. and we want to just see this movie because it's a subject that we like or it's a character that we like. I love all that, and to almost be able to come out of that making a new friend as a result, that's what's really cool about it. And it's just one of those type of environments where you're not judged. Nobody cares how you look. Nobody cares how you talk. It is just one of those rare times, probably other than Halloween, where massive of people can get together and they can just be them. They don't have to worry about being pushed away. And it's a very innocent moment because everybody is just with their family, they're with their friends, and they're all just together trying to watch a movie. And the other thing I love about the movies is that whatever personal problems you may be having in your life, to be able to just sit down for that 90 minutes, 120 minutes, and just forget about your problems and just stay focused on what's happening on the big screen. To be able to take that escape from that crappy job that's got you worked up and you're always saying, not another day, I can't take this crap. It's just really awesome when you're able to go to the movies and you're just able to forget about all that. You may have to deal with it after the movie is over, but at least for that time frame, you're not even thinking about it. I love how you can just sit up, especially when a movie is really good and it's one of those type of movies you don't want it to end. You wish you could just keep seeing these characters continue on. But unfortunately, at some point, the movie has to end, and then we have to go back into reality. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. And to have this guy do that in one of the most innocent, sacred places in North America, I just really find that disturbing. And I can't help but tell you guys, when I had got ready to go to the movie theater and I'm kicking back, I'm waiting on my girlfriend to show up, I'm noticing how there was a bit of a line for people that were trying to see a 4:30 showing of The Dark Knight Rises, and they all seemed pretty happy staying close near each other, but at the same time you could tell that the atmosphere was really different. You could tell that though they were happy to be there, they were minding their surroundings. I mean, it was really kind of quiet there, folks. And it wasn't somber now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't somber, but it was kind of quiet as people were looking around and trying to enjoy each other's conversation as they went into the movie. And then when we got ready to go see our 6:30 showing, because our movie ticket guy, it's a buddy of ours that we usually run into to buy tickets, he told us beforehand, he said, look, you guys want to make sure that you come at least 2 hours in advance. We expect for there to be a lot of seats filled up. You may not be so lucky getting a seat. You may have to possibly sit on the floor or sit in a fold-out chair that will get out. But try to come at least 2 hours early is what the guy told us. So our goal was to be looking at one another by 4 o'clock in the evening. Well, that didn't happen. She was about 30 minutes late, but we go and we're waiting in line, and it was so cool because I was actually the first person in line for the 6:30 showing. But a little bit after 4:45, close to 5, that's when people started showing up. And I'm just noticing the crowd that's coming in with us, and everybody, they seemed very well aware of what had happened, but at the same time, it was kind of like, we'll be okay, was the general conscious. Because trust me, we all were just looking at whoever might have looked suspicious, and we're just still talking, but we're all just looking around. When you hear stuff like that, it definitely makes you sit up and really pay attention to your surroundings more. And we see the movie, and you know all I could do honestly was just focus on the movie. And I'm not going to sit up, and I don't think anybody else should this weekend either, and sit up and feel fear. I don't think anybody should sit up and hesitate whether or not they should go see this movie, whether or not they should be going out in public. That's what this gunman probably wants. That's the type of power that you'd be giving him. And he doesn't deserve that type of power. And it's unfortunate that the media have sat up and they have just blasted the hell out of this guy and what he's done, as he probably just wanted that popularity, as he probably wanted to be in that spotlight. And I don't know if you guys had heard, but when the cops had fucking caught up to this guy sat up. He didn't even try to off himself. He didn't try to do nothing. He just sat up, willingly gave himself up, and he was arrested. He's telling police later on that he's the Joker, but he doesn't even have the trademark Joker colored hair. His hair is reddish or orange, so it's like, what the fuck? And it turns out this guy has been sitting up for at least 2 months plotting this shit. Now, what kind of a sick fuck sits up for 2 months plotting out how to kill people in a movie theater and then executes it? Now, just the way that he was able to do this, I'm not really sure, man. My brain is really rattled. I'm thinking to myself, is it possible that this man saw The Dark Knight Rises that many times to be able to come out perfectly during a gunfire scene in the movie, to be able to do the type of damage that he did? And we would learn later that this guy is sitting up, and he was going to a college out in San Diego for neuroscience, but that he had put in a withdrawal from the school. So a lot of things is just going in my head as I'm hearing this, and I'm saying to myself, what could have possibly made this guy snap? Did he come from a good loving home? Did he have a girlfriend? Did he have friends? Because if he didn't have a girlfriend, if he didn't have friends, it's just really sad, because surely he could have found somebody at the movie theaters. Because if you really think about it, you go to the movies, like I said earlier, it's a great way to run into people who have the same common interests as you do. There's been many times where I've gone to a theater, or I'm at a comic book store, or I'm somewhere amongst people that either happen to like wrestling, or they happen to like comic books or video games, and I'll say to them, oh, well, hey, I do a radio show. I actually talk a little bit about that, and if you want to check it out, here, take my card. And that's how I usually do it. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's actually cool, yeah. And we get into a conversation. It leads to, well, what's your Twitter handle? Are you on Facebook? Are you on MySpace? You on YouTube? Where you at? And you get the exchange of information, and then you go from there. But for this guy to be able to just fucking do what he fucking did, I mean, it's just fucking sick. It's just fucking disturbing. But at the same time, my heart tremendously goes out to the people, the victims, the friends, the family of the victims that had lost their loved ones during this tragic incident. And I pray that for those that still have no word on what is going on with their loved ones, hopefully they are safe somewhere. Hopefully they will end up turning up after a couple of days, safe in one piece. Really, I really mean that with all my heart. I hope that the worst has not happened. But, my message for everybody nationwide, especially those that are in other countries that are going to be seeing this movie within the next couple of days, if it's already the weekend that you're in, my message to everybody: do not let the events of this sick fucking bastard dictate how you're gonna live your life. Remember what had happened during the 9/11 attacks. Yeah, it had got a little bit scary there for a couple of days, but the greatest advice that we could get from New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani, followed up by President Bush, was to basically continue to live your lives. Don't let the enemy try to get the better hand. Don't let them dictate how you're going to be living your life. Don't live in fear. Live your life. That's the best advice that I can give right now. We all got to go out at some point. Is that the way that we want to go out? Hell no, we don't want to go out like that. If we all had a choice, I'm quite sure we all probably would like to peacefully go out in our sleep, as that's probably the best way to go out. No pain, you just close your eyes, you're going to sleep, trying to rest for the day, you never wake back up. That's probably the best way to go out. But shit happens on an everyday basis, but in no way do you take these tragic events that happen and you let it dictate how you're gonna go about living your life. So get out there this weekend, even if it's not to go see The Dark Knight, it's not to go see a movie. Get out there, live fucking life, enjoy it, cause we're not promised tomorrow. It's only a luxury. It's only fortunate that we're able to get up each day, to see a new sunrise, to see a new sunset. And it ties in so perfectly with what I always say at the end of each show I do for the RCWR Impact Showdown, our post show. It always fits so perfectly when I always say at the very end, until I hear from you all next time, you all be safe and you all be kind to one another. That's one of the main reasons why I say that. Because you just don't know. Shit happens all the time, folks. But for this sick little fuck who did what he did, he's gonna get reality coming at him real fast. He's gonna get that reality check. You can best rest assured of that. And it would not surprise me if a little light bulb finally clicks in his head and he finally realizes, man, I don't fucked up real bad. And he tries to hang himself. Don't be too surprised at that. And hey, if he does that, hey, as far as I'm concerned, justice is balanced. But hopefully he gets tried and he can be executed. But we'll definitely be staying on top of this story and definitely let you guys know what all is going to be transpiring as it happens. But I just think that the media is just giving this guy a little bit too much attention. I think this is probably what he wanted. And it's just one of those unfortunate things to see every single time you flip a channel, because that's 9 times out of 10 the type of power that he wants. And yeah, the media, they have to go with whatever is popular. They have to go with whatever will get them viewership. But sometimes I just feel as though some of the things that they cover just needs to quietly be swept under the rug. You know, definitely, I hope that Christopher Nolan and the cast of The Dark Knight Rises, I hope that they have a success with the movie this weekend and in the upcoming weeks. I hope that their box office sales do tremendous despite this crazy shit that this guy had did, as it would kind of be a little bit discouraging for them, and I'm sure Warner Brothers as well, as they really wanted to end this movie on a good note. And I know for sure this is not exactly what they had in mind. I'm quite sure this is not how they wanted to kick off the weekend. So hopefully this first weekend's box office numbers will continue to do well despite the panic that is in the air right now. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this special first edition of Unchained Talk with Lee Sanders. We're going to do this again sometime in the future. Just depends on the feedback that we get from you all. So if y'all like how we did this first episode, definitely feel free to leave a comment, or if you have any questions, that's another cool feature that we're going to be doing with this new show, is we'll take questions from you guys. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a wrestling question. It could be a music question, it could be an entertainment question, or it could just be an off the wall question. Just make sure it's a really cool question to ask. I do hope that everybody is going to go out there and have a fantastic weekend, because in a lot of places the weather is going to be really nice. No reason to stay cooped up in the house all weekend. Do make sure you check out a new episode of the RCWR show that's going to be coming up this Monday, July 23rd, as we're going to be making a rare Monday night appearance to celebrate the 1000th episode of WWE Raw. It's going to be a really cool show. You'll be able to check that out immediately after Raw 1000 at 11 p.m. Eastern. You can also check out all our shows in the iTunes and Zune marketplaces. Keywords, the RCWR show. So make sure you download them. Really cool. That's going to do it. Until I hear from you all next time, y'all be safe and y'all be kind to one another. Take care, folks.